I'm currently on a 3-week card counting trip in the southern states of America. Right now, I'm in Shreveport, where the casinos have been giving me a pretty hard time, and that was really starting to get to me.
Okay, your boss is breaking the law.
No, we're not.
Yes, you are.
No, we're not.
In this video, you'll see something that I never would have expected to happen, where casino surveillance actually tries to help me. You'll also learn what happens when it's illegal for a casino to back off a card counter. The next episode of Beat the Odds is already up on Nebula. More info at the end of the video. I was well and truly done with Shreveport and I needed a new plan. So I headed to Rhino Coffee, which did the best coffee I'd had on the trip so far. Thank you, Rhino Coffee. I needed that. There are a lot of casinos in a lot of different directions and I wasn't really sure the best place to go. So I spoke to one of the investors and he suggested a route. Or a route, because he's American. Right, it is time to get out of this state. I'm going to travel to Arkansas, hit a casino on the way. It's going to be fun. What's the worst that could happen?
Mr. Bridges.
Hello.
How you doing?
I'm good, how are you?
I'm good, but you know they won't allow you to play in here like that.
Sure. That's fair.
Just cash in our stuff.
Well, at least it was only a 3-hour drive to get there, and I did manage to win $1,527.50 in that 40-minute session.
It's always easier when you already know my name.
Somebody recognizes you, they'll on your YouTube channel.
Yeah, there you go.
This is another example of my YouTube channel getting the better of my card counting career.
Yeah, well, that's the cost of doing a YouTube channel.
We all knew this was going to happen. None of us are surprised, are we? But I got recognised by a dealer. He didn't say anything to me. He kind of hinted, and then he said something, and then that was it. It was just a matter of moments. It was all quite amicable. But then again, I didn't push back on being ID'd or anything, but it was all quite friendly, and I didn't even have to leave, which is nice. It wouldn't feel too bad if I was just playing my own trip solo with my own money, but I'm on a team. There's got to be a tipping point where I become more of a liability than an asset. Hot Springs, Arkansas. What a place. Definitely my favourite place I'd been to on the trip. It was just such a nice, happy town. And this cafe did the best food I'd had on the trip so far. At the cafe, I met this nice photographer guy who actually wasn't called Brian, and he took my picture. Thank you, Brian. Well, thanks, dude. Something about the area and the people gave my morale a boost, and I was ready to go and play at the only casino in town. Oaklawn had very friendly dealers. Staff being up for having a laugh and just generally being nice makes for a way better playing experience. A great example of this is how one dealer reacted when she outdrew my hands and got 21.
Oh my gosh, he was playing 400 a hand and I come in and pull a 21 off his. I'm an asshole. I'm an asshole big time.
Every employee of the month.
No.
God, I mean, she's bringing in the revenue for the casino.
You know what? I would like to work with you. I am not an asshole in real life.
It's alright.
Today I played a 7-hour session, which I'm really happy about. So much of this trip has just been driving and playing short sessions because of quick back-offs, but I got 7 hours in a row, which was great. What wasn't great is that I lost $10,000, which is the biggest loss we've had on the trip so far, but I didn't get a back-off, so I'm gonna head back tomorrow.
No, I keep being here one time.
I tell you what, at first, when I was doing all this, I thought there's a very good chance that every single casino has like a few members of staff that know who I am, that maybe I can't play at all anymore. And then,
Yes, you got it. Everyone's saying Australia.
when I started playing, I thought, oh yeah, I've kind of exaggerated my own sense of, I don't know, influence. But now I realise that it's actually somewhere a bit more in the middle. And today, for example, 2 members of staff recognised me. One didn't dob me in. Oh, I don't know if I can say that. Oh, they'll never know who.
Oh, cool. Thanks, man.
And then one had to, because he was like the manager or the pit boss or something, so...
You know what this conversation is, right?
Oh, is it one of those?
Yeah.
Oh, you guys are like 12 grand up.
He backed me off in the politest way possible. And it's kind of interesting because there's been a couple of times I've been backed off where people have known who I am, and the difference between this casino and Bally's is incredible.
It's when we get information and we make a decision.
That's pretty funny.
And look, I know this game.
Yeah.
I've been doing it a long time.
Yeah.
And nothing but respect.
No.
That has those kind of skills. Nothing but respect.
I don't know if I have them, to be honest.
Thanks with no thanks.
Yeah, totally no problem.
I think in future trips, I'm gonna have to really like go in on the disguises.
Nothing but respect. Hey,
Yeah, man.
I'm actually kind of a fan, so...
Oh, right, I'm screwed then.
Yeah,
Fair. Yeah, that happens now.
At that casino alone, I've lost over 11 grand. If this wasn't a team trip, I'd be getting crushed. Luckily, the others are doing better. Still sucks though. As I was getting ready to leave my hotel, I received a very intriguing tweet. Hey man, huge fan. Shot me a DM. How's Arkansas treating you? Shoot, damn it. Ruined my first impression. Now this caught my attention because I hadn't posted publicly that I was on a trip, let alone where I was. Had a subscriber just seen me out and about? Sup dude, lost 10k here, so not great. But nice place, nice casino, nice vibe. Yikes, that sucks. Like I said, I'm a huge fan. Sorry for the anonymity. I work in casino surveillance and I got an alert on our software you were active there. I did look and so far you have no known associates with you. Having an inside man in surveillance? Very helpful. And nice to see a small advantage from posting these card counting videos. It turned out there'd been a countrywide alert that Stephen Bridges was in the US, and specifically where I was last seen. That already would have been quite inconvenient, but it turned out they did another countrywide alert saying, FYI, Bridges has a YouTube channel where he posts videos he's taken in casinos. Now I've come to learn that my videos are watched by quite a lot of surveillance staff, and I don't know about you, but if I worked in surveillance and I got that alert, I would immediately be Googling the person to find these videos. Free advertising? I guess I can't complain. Unfortunately, they wouldn't send me the actual report. Fair enough, I don't want to get them in trouble, but don't worry, by the end of the trip, someone would send me something far better. 6 hours of driving. My original plan was to stop off at Oklahoma, but the games really aren't very good there, and they use the same service that did the countrywide alert. So I skipped it out entirely and headed to Kansas City. Kansas City is in Missouri. Missouri! Why am I getting so excited about Missouri? Missouri! You know how we've talked about the legalities of card counting before? How card counting is legal because it can't be cheating to think. Well, in Missouri, it went to court, and it was ruled that you cannot legally back off a player for playing a game well. Which means they can't stop me. Now, I couldn't get too excited, because even though they couldn't technically back me off, what they would do is countermeasure me. Basically, they'd make the game unplayable by either shuffling every hand or so, or they would reduce the table maximum to something really low, which would just negate counting entirely. That being said, I was looking forward to not having to deal with any hostile backoffs. Knowledgeable teammate / investor recommended that instead of bouncing around the different casinos, playing at each for a little bit of time, that I just pick one casino and play there until I get countermeasured. He said that it would be very likely that when that happened, that all of Kansas City would be burned down. Harrah's Casino seemed as good as any, so off to there I went.
How's it going?
Oh, just peachy.
Peachy.
My general approach when starting at a new casino is to try and have a laugh with the pit bosses and the dealers.
Where are you from?
Too early. Where do you think I'm from? I'm
I don't
surveying.
know. I'm hearing an accent.
I have to write down your guess because I'm doing a survey of all Americans. Where do you think from my accent? Whenever someone asks me where I'm from, I write down their guess and I'm keeping like a tally.
Sounds a little Australian.
This man here, Bill thinks I'm Australian. Bill could be right.
I could be.
Bill could be wrong.
Not Scottish, Irish, could be South
Yeah.
African.
I was thinking South African.
South African is one hell of a guess. I love it. England. You got it. By the way, so few people have got England. So
What's a lantern?
a lantern. We use the term lantern.
Like a flashlight.
Oh, a torch. We're so crazy in the UK. Yeah.
I'm keeping you from gaming.
No, it's all right. It's
Well, not
slower.
with my manager there.
Not only does this help me look like a normal player who's there to have fun, but it also keeps me sane. Blackjack trips are very lonely. It's a lonely lifestyle. You have to spend a lot of time by yourself. So chatting with people, it really makes a difference. Counting also requires you to play in a very unconventional way. For example, here I have a 15 versus a dealer 10. It's hard to see, but just take my word for it. It's common knowledge at the tables that you'd hit this hand. Yet, when the count is high enough, at a true 4, you should stand. The irony is, playing well can actually make you look like a really bad player.
My theory is, and tell me if this is insane, if you play it sensible every single hand, you're guaranteed to lose. The casino is surely going to win long term, right? So you have to every now and again play a bit. Yeah. I don't know if that holds up logically, but I feel like it does.
I played for a couple of hours before feeling a tiny simmer of heat. I decided to use this opportunity to take a break. Doing shorter sessions can be helpful because heat is a bit like a pan of boiling water. As you play, it can get warmer and start to bubble. If it boils over, you get to back off. But if you leave when it starts simmering and come back later or another day, it may have totally cooled down again. Or, depending on the casino, it may just keep boiling when you've gone and you walk back in the casino and they throw the boiling water in your face, and then you get burned and you're screaming and everyone's screaming. Okay, I'm getting carried away. When I returned, I had a brutal start to the session, losing hand after hand after hand, thousands and thousands of dollars gone. But as is the nature of card counting, what goes down must eventually go up. And after a few really good shoes, I was basically back to even, up $637.50. I was trying to keep my sessions no longer than 2 hours, so I took another break. But when I came back, within 5 minutes, it was all over.
If he's playing, they get 2 hands.
Shuffling after 2 hands renders card counting totally useless, but it's also really not good for the casino to shuffle every 2 hands because it slows down the game, it wastes a lot of time, and in a casino, time is literally money.
Yeah.
Now normally, if I'm backed off from a casino, I won't go back. But given that Missouri has gone out of their way to make it illegal to back off a card counter, I figured I'd play there again. So after killing some time, eating some food, and doing some laundry, I headed back. Enough time had passed that it was unlikely that I'd bump into any of the dealers that had seen me play there before. I had no doubt that they'd countermeasure me at some point, but with a change of outfit and a different cap, I figured I was guaranteed at least 10 minutes before that time came. Well, I actually got 20 minutes before, totally innocently, without any other agenda than just checking my age, I was asked for my ID.
No, not with me.
You got a passport?
I don't carry it out the safe. I'm like 30 though, so don't worry.
He walked away. I really like how his tone of voice and choice of words didn't really communicate that he needed the ID, more that he was just casually inquiring as to whether or not I had one.
What's going on?
I don't know, but I'm getting progressively worried about it.
My supervisor told me to wait to shuffle, and I'm just doing what I'm told.
So there's no reason?
There's a reason. They just won't tell us.
And for those of you who are new to my videos, they are 100% IDing me because they know I'm counting. There is no other reason. Over the next few minutes, a small group of security guards was formed and a woman came up to me.
What's the problem?
So I was told that you don't have an ID on you.
I do have it, yeah.
So where is that?
In my pocket.
Can I see it, please?
Why would you like to see it?
Well, because they're telling me that you're not giving it over to them, and we have to be able to identify everybody that's on the floor.
Yeah, because I feel like the reason he was asking for it wasn't genuine.
So we have to ID anybody that looks under 30, and they have their own set of guidelines as far as who they ID.
Do you think I look under 30?
I mean, looking at you, you look around 30.
Is that why he asked me for my ID?
I don't know why he asked you for your ID, but they have.
Could you ask him why?
I just wanted to see if they'd actually be honest about why they were IDing me.
So he thinks you look young too. However, the deal is, since we're on private property, we don't need to technically have a license.
Yeah, sure. In all honesty, I think that the reason that I'm being asked for the ID is not the genuine reason. So because of that, I feel really uncomfortable giving it over.
Well, that's fine, but at the end of the day, it's still private property.
Sure, okay.
You either have to show it or you have to.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Well, fine. I'm happy to cash out and go. You happy with that? Great. Okay. Why so many of you? Like, I don't think I've displayed any.
It's a safety precaution.
Yeah, it makes me feel unsafe because I've been quite chill, really, haven't I? Yeah. So I feel like this is a bit intimidating, to be honest.
After being escorted to the cash desk, I cashed out with only a little bit of pushback about not having ID. I'd pushed my luck enough at Harrah's, and it wouldn't be long before every casino in Kansas City would have a lovely printout of my face stuck to their surveillance department's wall. The next casino on my list, unfortunately, was Bally's. Given my experience in Shreveport, I was not looking forward to playing there. Actually, to be totally honest, I sat in the Bally's car park for a while. I'm not sure exactly why I was so nervous, I just wasn't feeling great. But I wasn't going to let my nerves get the better of me, so off to Bally's I went.
Hello.
How's it going?
I'm very good.
When I sat down at the blackjack table, I had to really concentrate to stop myself from shaking. I cannot think of the last time I was playing blackjack and I was shaking. Like, that physical nervous reaction is not something I really get when I'm counting cards, but there I was, trying my hardest to stop myself from shaking. By the way, do you think that this casino has enough surveillance cameras? As time went on, I don't know why, but I got this feeling that I was going to be countermeasured in a really extreme way. Something about the situation and the atmosphere just made me think what was coming was going to be very aggressive. Just when I was feeling the most tense, the pit boss came over.
Hey, we're gonna have to go flat $25.
Oh, that wasn't so bad. I cashed out my $3,600 winnings and left.
It's a nice law. It makes it so much more chill.
Not my call. So.
No, I don't mind.
On this trip alone, I'd won close to $6,000 from Bally's Casino, which I was pretty happy with. It's time for the team graph. A pretty unpleasant result for me overall, dipping to minus $6,815 before making a slow recovery, sitting at $735 in winnings. The rest of the team had a roller coaster. At one point, we dipped as low as 9k winnings, but thanks to some good variance, including a 10k win, we'd reached a new trip high with winnings of $29,925.
Oh, yeah. Well, what the hell? Why come in here and ruin the game for us?
That clip is from the next episode of Beat the Odds, where not only do I really manage to annoy the casino, but also the other players. The next episode is actually pretty packed. There's a situation where I get caught using a hidden camera, which is one of the things I was most worried about when going on this trip. I have 2 sessions where I either win or lose a large amount of money. You'll see in the next episode. And there's a back off where the guy gets straight to the point and gives me the ultimatum to either give him my ID or get out and take my chips with me. The next episode will be on YouTube on Wednesday. However, if you like, you can watch it right now, a whole week early on Nebula. Nebula is a streaming platform built and run by creators. It has over 14,000 videos, as well as being Streamy Award nominated. Fancy stuff. This season of Beat the Odds is part of Nebula First, which means each episode is available on Nebula a week before it's here on YouTube. On Nebula, there's also some extra videos from me, like this interview I did about card counting, as well as this chat I had with a card counter called Sheriff, where he tells a story of when a police officer threw him to the ground when he was counting cards.